Good morning, it's day 143. Oh, the haze on my lens. Shouldn't lick my thumb, it's probably unsanitary. I just lick my camera. Well, it just started raining, so whoop-de-doo. Crossing 10 Mile River. The mouth of 10 Mile River where it dumps into the Housatonic. It looks washed out, let me see. It's the exposure. Anyway, hold on, let me get a picture of that for you. That's a good looking river. In about 2 miles, there's a side trail to a bridge across the Housatonic and into a little restaurant, deli, grocery store. I may pop in there. I'm very dissatisfied with my current breakfast arrangement. And today is Wednesday. According to my hike plan, I should enter the tiny town that has no amenities to speak of other than a post office where my resupply box has been shipped. By noon tomorrow-ish or thereabouts. So we really got one more night, one more morning on trail before I get my full resupply box. Well, I just came to the junction where you can take, a half mile or so detour to a country store. Fortunately, there was enough photos on the Google where you kind of zoom in and see what they do have. And while they had Coleman propane, I could not see anywhere on a shelf where they had camp fuel, like isobutane canisters, which I'm getting close to needing one of those. So I'm just gonna keep hiking for now. In about 8 miles, there's a side trail into Kent. I gotta try to figure out what is in Kent. Cotton t-shirt, anyone? Anyone need a nice Patagonia t-shirt? So I knew from looking at the map that I would dip back into New York for a little bit, but I guess I missed when that happened. But now we're back in Connecticut, so I think once and for all, I believe. It hasn't rained in quite some time, hour and a half maybe, but it's just everything's damp and rocks are slippery and all that, so. But yeah, it's not falling from the sky anymore, which is better. Feels like we're just below those dark, dark gray clouds. I can hear lawnmowers. And no matter what I do, I can't get the haze off the lens on this camera, the selfie camera, it seems like. Anyway, we have a little bit of a road walk now because there's a bridge out on the trail up ahead, like significantly. So the bypass takes us down the road and then up a very steep climb. Also, this would be less than a mile down this road would be Kent, the town of Kent, which has way more options, but I went and had my box shipped to the next town of Cornwall Bridge, which is tomorrow, and it is probably just a traffic light compared to Kent. Anyway, those vehicles, I gotta pay attention. Well, I will say that the bypass trail, the detour around the broken bridge, it's one of the steepest trails I've been on in a long time, probably since Lehigh Gap. But we're kind of on the flat top of it now, so the worst parts of it over. We should be joining back up with the actual AT here pretty soon. I just checked. We've been back on the regular AT for quite some time now. So it was probably where it started getting flat. It's where it rejoined. I do have to say the landscape has been, even though it's just been woods pretty much all day, and lots of ups and downs, and surprisingly rocky at times, but it's been really pretty. Like, the forest is very varied, and the fact that there's so many like rock outcroppings and stuff like actually lends it a beauty all its own, let's say. So I've been enjoying that aspect of it. Like, I'm kind of buried in my head because I'm listening to audiobook, and you got to pay attention to the ground. So every now and then I'll look up and be kind of taken aback at how pretty everything is. Right now, my audiobook I'm listening to is Roots by Alex Haley. I had seen the miniseries a couple of times. Once, in the 70s, and probably once in the, 2000s maybe. But yeah, the audiobook, the reading of it and the writing of it, far richer and more intimate than the TV series could ever portray, because you're in the inner monologue of the main characters and their thoughts and everything. So it's really good. I'm enjoying it. Not in a, obviously it's heavy, but it's very thought-provoking and insightful. That kind of good. And because of that, enjoyable. Caleb's Peak. I was reading I better watch out for a beehive up here. So I just came down that, and that's maybe a fifth or an eighth of this downhill boulder scramble. Still not quite at the bottom. It looks like that's the bottom right there, though. Well, that was a brutal descent. It's unfortunate I was not able to get some good footage. It was a I needed both hands to lower myself down to the next ledge quite often. It was one of those, like vertically it would have been a nice hand over hand scramble, but the descent of those, it's like the second one like that I've had to go down. This one's probably more intense than the one last week. I don't know the names of any of these things. It's just the next thing that comes along on the trail. So it's like 2.5 miles to the, well, there's a shelter, and then like 0.4 past the shelter is the campsite. I think we're at 2.5 to the campsite, so just almost a little over 2 to the shelter. But it looks like it might just be this road walk the entire way, or almost the entire way, unless this road just peters out at some point. So this shelter is surrounded by a bunch of little lollipop tent sites off of the main path, and so this is my view from where I'm setting up as the shelter down that path. And I've got this little spot right here. Since it's very densely wooded, there's a bunch of tents setting up over there. And there's another one right over there. But all connected back to the shelter path with these little side trails. There we go. What you find? Look at me.